So it turns out some dust from sounding has ended up in one of my microphones while recording. I do apologise, but every now and then you're going to have to listen that little bit more carefully. I didn't realise until after all the footage had been filmed and during the editing process. So I do apologise, but other than that, please enjoy today's episode. Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. This is the second take of the intro and some footage because it has corrupted yet again. So I'm afraid I'm a little bit ahead than I was anticipating right at this stage. But now I'm going to start off where I finished off before the footage corrupted on me, and I'm going to show you where I'm up to on this build. So as you can see behind the scenes, I've been doing a hell of a lot more spraying. I've found the issue with my clear coating, so hopefully that now is sorted out. You can see it's a lot more flatter and fresher now. It turns out that I didn't have the pressure turned up high enough over there, and because of the low pressure, low volume gun that I'm actually using, I have to now sand it back and then put I believe it's called like a glide coat over it. Do excuse me if I'm wrong, I'm not used to the terminology. But basically if I rough it up with wet 1000 to 1200 grit paper and then just re-lacquer it again, it comes out a hell of a lot better. Yes, there's a minuscule amount of orange peel in it. So you can see that one's been done compared to this one here, which hasn't been done, which we'll be doing behind the scenes, of course, again soon. So then, moving on to today, I've masked up and worked out where I want the black going on the front of the bumper, because of course I want to try and keep all the colours together and incorporate it to try and make it all fit in and keep it looking smart. I've gone for pretty much the same design I had last time, near enough. I was happy with that. I thought it was aggressive and looked smart, to be honest, so I kept it at that. I've masking taped over the grill holes and also done it underneath the paper when I go to switch the paper positions around. Then hopefully at the end I get to clear coat it all together, and then there will be no high and low marks. Well, that's the plan. So then, to utilise while having the black paint in the gun for this, I'm also going to be doing my TRC rear diffuser at the same time. I've got this one lying down just because in case I do get any runs or anything like that, I can get them out easier. Well, that's what I'm finding anyway. If I have it lying down like that, I should be able to work with it easier. And of course, while I've got the blue in the gun for that, I'm going to be doing the rear bumper that I've repaired. So, just like I say, just to utilise while I've still got paint in the gun. There's no point doing one job and leaving others lying around, just so I can, well, not get it done quicker, but yeah, it just makes sense. No point having a gun full of paint and only using half of it. I would be lying if I said that everything's gone smoothly so far, because it hasn't, like all project cars, and when it's your hobby and not your trade, nothing ever goes to plan. I was flatting back this one and I went too close to the edge and took the paint off back to primer. So I'm going to flatten that back and put it back to blue and go again. And that piece there, it turns out when I was putting the base coat on, followed by the lacquer, I had it hung up at a funny angle and I missed a patch of blue. And it would be noticeable on the car. So I kind of said, no, just put it one side down and do it again. Considering none of that's been flat back yet, I am thoroughly happy. A lot of it is fresh off the gun today with the second coat of clear. As I said earlier, there is still a couple of bits there that need it, the second coat of clear, because it's only on its first. But I'm finding that extra gloss coat at the end really is making the finish a hell of a lot better. Well, you saw the orange peel in the last video, and it just makes sense to put that extra layer of clear coat on after roughing it up. It's worked well so far, and hopefully when it does get down to the sanding and polishing, it should improve that finish that little bit more. So all in all, so far, I am fairly happy with how it's looking. All nice and shiny, all how I want it to be. And yeah, I understand a few of you thinking that I should have got some panels to practice on. If you watch my Audi video, I thought that doing those 2 wings should have been practice enough, but yeah, clearly it wasn't. I'm not going to lie, but hey, it's all a learning curve at everything I'm doing on this car, from the bodywork to the wide arch kit that's going to be going on, to the bigger boost pipes, to the bigger injectors, to the bigger turbo, or you name it. You know, it's all going to be a learning curve for me, and hopefully you guys will stick around and see the journey through with me. I've decided to keep the winglets that hold the spoiler in place in the standard gloss black, because I want there to be a contrast in colour between the, I don't know what they're called, winglets, we'll just call them winglets. The winglets to the blade, I want them to be a contrast in colour, because a big if, I was to ever get inside at a show and shine, this is not going to be a show and shine standard car. By all means, I am no professional, as you guys have seen by now, hopefully. I'm just another guy like you are at home, or I'm just trying to set out and prove that anyone can do what I'm doing from your garage at home with bare minimal tools and bare minimal experience, just like me. All you need is time and willing to learn. So that's all this is trying to set out to achieve. You know, I want to be the guy that you guys turn around and go, if he can do it, so can I. And that is what I'm aiming to prove, because I'm a chef, I cook. You know, I've got nothing to do with cars. This is just, you know, as you've seen, a hobby and a learning experience. So if I can do this, so can you. And you guys should learn from my mistakes and pay someone else to do it. So now that you've seen what I'm going to be cracking on with the bumpers, I'm going to basically turn around and say, cue the time lapse and pray it doesn't corrupt. Okay, so the same sort of rules apply like last time. It goes on and it doesn't look metallic-y at all until the clear coat hits it. I have to really wait for this one to tack off though, because obviously when I remove the tape, fingers crossed it doesn't rip anything with it. If it does, well, I'm probably back to the drawing board of sanding it back again. But I am using fine line tape, so I'm kind of hoping. Let's have a look, shall we? It's not dry yet, but it might be easier to do it now. I reckon if I'm careful, I'll probably get away with doing that. Removing that now. Then I need to wait for it to really... Sorry, I had the camera down then, I do apologise. Then I have to really wait for it to dry off, because then I need to put the tape on the other side and then cover this side of the front bumper then in paper, so that obviously when I spray the blue on, it doesn't go onto the black, because that would just ruin the finish. Yeah, the same applies on the TRC rediffuser over here. All went well, apart from last second. Some rubbish came out of the atmosphere and landed on it, but I'll pick that up with a tack rag in a minute. So that's not the end of the world. So this is ready for clear coating. Well, it will be once I've tacked it off. And now I've only really got to worry about the front bumper. Of course, when I'm spraying the blue on that one, I'm spraying the blue on this one. So, well, when the back bumper's now finished and put back together, I do now, thank you to Jordan from Unit 5. He dropped up a rivet gun that actually fits. So you can see through the, I've got that I've got the brackets in place now that hold the rear bumper on. So when the rear bumper's done, I can slap that all back together and all back on. Obviously, wet sanding, all that's got to be done as well. But yeah, it's slow but steady progress. The repairs are coming along quite nicely. And then I can start looking at all the other bits and bobs to go on the car. Okay, so I've carefully removed the fine line tape, and as you can see, it really has left a fine line. There was a little bit of a wiggle there, but it's not the end of the world. I'll probably get a splitter of some description. I can't make my mind up if I want to make one or if I want to buy one. But yeah, you can see it really has left a really nice fine line. The only damage on it is obviously where I rubbed through the primer, but all good. So the next plan of action is I need to wait for this to dry. It'll take about 10 minutes in this heat. I think I've chosen one of the hottest days of the year to do this on, luckily. But you can see I've already masking taped up the vent duct up there. The other day I did spray it with some aerosol, just like I did those ones, so that it'll be dry for today, because when I primed it, I didn't cover it. Rookie error, I know. But hey, that's why you can see like a dust outline of where I only roughly masked it up. But yeah, all in all, so far so good. So the next course of action would be to put a fine line on the black side and run it all the way down and around, and then paper that side over and do that blue on this side. But because the paper's been here and I've obviously already sprayed, I need to get a tack rag on it all, take off all the contaminants from the newspaper because it's got lint in it. It's not the ideal thing to be using. If I had money, I would have bought brown paper, but luckily for me, my grandfather likes to read newspapers like they're going out of fashion, so they are here by abundance. And yeah, all in all, in a minute, if all goes to plan, this should be nice and blue. So then guys, the same rules apply. Put down the tapes, cover it up with paper, and everything obviously exposed is going to go blue. The only thing that is concerning me, if I'm being 100% honest, is if this tape is a little bit too much off the black, or I've misjudged it somewhere along the lines, I'm going to have a nice primer pinstripe all the way down on both sides. So I believe I've got it following the black as close to the edge as I physically can. Human error will obviously pick this up straight away. As the paint goes on, there is no going back. It'll be down to a little touch-up paintbrush of some description, but then the clear coat goes on and should cover it, fingers crossed. All right, next is going to be another time lapse of me putting the blue on. I promise you it's going to be the last one of this video. I understand time lapses get tediously boring, but please bear with me. So here we go. So there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. One evenly sprayed front and back bumper. I know the light outside is not doing this any justice, but to my knowledge, that is a spot-on job, if I do say so myself. I don't consider myself any good at any of this, to be fair. I'm just your average Joe blog as far as I'm concerned. If I can do this, so can you. So now is the moment of truth. Oh God, here we go. Do I leave it for a few more minutes? I'm going to leave it for a few more minutes just to tacky off a bit more. And then I'm going to remove the paper to see how well it's turned out. Fingers crossed is all I can say. So now the paper's off, and now it is judgment time. I've looked over it. And I'm pretty happy to say I think I practically nailed it. There seems to be a little bit of shadow here from where a minuscule bit of overspray come through. A little bit of sticky left on from the masking tape. But all in all, wow, I'm impressed. You know, that looks how it should have been first time round. hence why you don't spray in the winter. But that has come out nicely as well. That's all nicely bonded in and smoothed in, and now that the paint's on there, it's like stealthed in as well. So I'm going to take out the masking tape now off of all of the ducts, and then I'm going to clear coat it. The finished product I'll show you in probably the next video or video after, I don't know when, but you've got the rough idea of how this front end is looking. Smooth, clean, so far so good, touch wood. And yeah, even I'm gobsmacked, you know. I thought it was looking good, up to date, but now that that's on, I'm truly, oh, wow. Like I said from the beginning, guys, I'm no pro at any of this. If you made it this far in the video, please hit the thumbs up button. I do appreciate every single one. And don't forget to comment below, wow. If you comment wow below, I know that you've made it this far in a video, and I appreciate every single one of you. So cheers, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you all soon.